Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel on this painful day. So in this video we're going to discuss what the F happened to Palantir, and is your thesis a feces now, and if you should continue investing in Palantir or it's the end of the story. So on days like this, I understand it can be very hard. I actually added $30,000 of Palantir to my portfolios just one trading day ago, and then during the weekend I realized that the price is probably going to tank on earnings, and I felt very stupid, and I want to share with you my thought process around this and what I'm going to do. So if you like this video, please make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. So basically what's super important on a day like this is to revisit our thesis, because it might be feces. All right, so basically we need to be unfazed about the price, because the price of the stock is not the company, right? So we need to, when in doubt, zoom out. So we need to zoom out and we need to see, what do Palantir shareholders believe, and did this change because of this earnings call? So obviously shareholders of Palantir believe that Palantir is the future of AI. Palantir's products are very sticky. They're very hard to cancel, like these very big organizations that use them. They're usually, the global 6,000 companies and global governments, and normally they invest tens of millions of dollars into using their system. And once you have been using a certain system for many years, then you're very unlikely to change, because there's quite a lot of cost in implementing a new system that might even not work. Then there is another core belief that Palantir can become an operating system for enterprise. Obviously this is to a greater or lesser degree, because if Palantir fully becomes an operating system, like I have seen indications on, then they are a multi-trillion-dollar company in the future. So basically, even if you believe that the Palantir founder system is a system where companies will build a lot of apps, and they will use it in their operations, and it makes it, you have networking effects for more and more people using it, then you are in this category. Again, you can have an ultra bull who thinks that it's going to be like the Windows of future enterprise. I don't believe that this is the case, but again, even if this becomes a little bit true, it will highly affect the stock price of the company. Then to have any valuation hold, you have to believe that Palantir is going to grow very rapidly. Management is guiding for 30% or over 30% at least up to 2025. And you would have to believe that they are around 25 to 30% operating margin. So let's look at what they have actually reported, and then let's see why everybody seems to have lost their minds. So total revenue grew 31% year over year. So that's even above this 30%. So that's really good, right? Commercial revenue grew 54% year over year. And that is just fantastic, US commercial 136% year over year. I mean, can you ask for anything better? Here is a weak point in this report, which is that their government revenue grew by only 16%, and the government revenue has been consistently slowing. I believe it was like 24% last quarter, and before that it was like 30 something. So they are like consistently slowing down. However, I don't believe that this is a problem. You want Palantir to do really well with the commercial sector. You want them to get more customers. And in the conference call, they mentioned that they are already seeing in Q2 the re-acceleration of government. And the government is a very lumpy business, and they mentioned the Russia-Ukraine situation a lot, and it takes time, because it happened at the attack happened at the end of the quarter. And obviously they didn't just manage time-wise to get in a lot of new contracts, but they basically hinted that this was on the way, and the government will re-accelerate in the year. They were growing their customer number by 86%, fantastic. They have had their best GAAP profitability so far, not profitability, but the least minus that they made, minus 9%. Adjusted income was 170 million, representing a 26% margin. Then here is something fishy. I don't like how their cash flow didn't grow more. And then some more highlights. So they are guiding for a base revenue of 470 million in Q2. So again, this is probably causing a freak out. Whether it's justified or not, we can argue, but if you go over to my table, which by the way you can download on Patreon, it's $5 a month and it greatly helps out the channel, and you get many tables like this for the stocks that I cover where you can play around with your own valuation. So as you can see, I plugged in, this was my estimate that they would come in now. This is the actual. Here you see Q1, Q2, Q3. And this is what they're guiding, and the guidance is only a 25% growth. And this is where investors are losing their heads and they're going, oh my God, sell, sell, sell. I literally don't know who is left to sell this stock. Yes. And it's so funny, everyone that you watch on YouTube and pretty much so many people that are commenting on this channel, it's pretty incredible. We're so gung-ho as a team in Palantir. So many people are writing that they're going to buy the dip. I'm looking for ways how to buy the dip. Again, I unfortunately bought for 30,000 the last trading day. I wish I hadn't done that, obviously. Otherwise, I would be buying the dip like crazy. So this is really troubling for investors. I don't understand why. I mean, I guess because they don't like how this growth trend is trending down. However, they reiterated that for the full financial year, they are still waiting or expecting a 30% growth or even greater, and a 27% adjusted operating margin for the full year. I forgot to say that they're expecting a 20% margin for Q2, and that's also super low. I believe this is also hurting the people today, and I don't understand why. For some people, this completely breaks the valuation of Palantir. Don't understand how. If we look at the big picture, so this is the big picture table again that you can access via Patreon if you want to. So I like to play with the numbers. So what we know for sure, again, this table shows what I estimate the stock price to be in 2025 and in 2030 based on a multitude of different factors, and you can play with the numbers. You can play with how much the stock dilution is. You can play with how much their operating profit is. You can play with their growth, and it will change the number. And what I love with this is that it gives, this is the share price that it gives. This is what the share price will be if your thesis is not feces up here in 2030 and 2025. And then what I love here is that, everybody has a return that they're happy with. So if you're happy with 10%, you write in here 10%, and it shows the stock price that the stock needs to be today so that you reach your annual return. The stock price will be this by your target year. So again, we know, I'm very certain, because management, I believe, hasn't missed on any quarter on the earnings yet, on their growth yet. So basically, I'm very certain that up to 2025, they are going to be growing with this 30% per year. Their operating margin here, I might have been a bit too optimistic. I want to put it down to 25% because then it accounts for also, stock-based compensation and certain other things, because at the end of the day, they do need to be GAAP profitable in 2025 and not just, this accounting magic profitable that, we made a minus, but if you add this back and add that back, and if you add back what we lost, then we were plus, So again, so I do lower my price tag on this, and then I think we are gonna count with a PE of 57, which is very low compared to the kind of stock that Palantir is. Again, feel free to play with this number. So if you do this calculation, then it will give a stock price of $27 in 2025, and I normally shoot for a 30% return per year. Again, this is a lowered, so I made this more pessimistic. Before, in the past, I was calculating with 30% operating margin. They're guiding for 27% this year, and if you look at their quarterly, this is their adjusted profit, you can see that they are average over 30%, but they are trending down. So I decided to be pessimistic here and just go with 25. Okay, and even with this $9.34 stock price is a good deal. And if you want to hold the stock for 10 years and you believe that they're going to keep growing, then 8.06 is a good stock price for you. And oh my God, 762. So basically, based on this calculation, nothing has changed with the company. This is an overreaction. Again, in this market, every company is down that has not reported blowout earnings, and even then they were down. I mean, just look at Apple. They reported a blowout earnings here, and the next day they were down 3%. So Palantir had this coming. I believe even if they would have reported the best numbers ever, you would still be, I don't know, down probably. It is just that market. But the opportunity, in my opinion, in this stock is insane. I'm actually going to play with the number to find, no, you don't get 40%. This is compounded annual return, mind you. Yeah, 38% compounded annual return at this price. So I'm basically looking for money, how to buy more stock. I would be happy if you could support me on Patreon. That money will probably turn into Palantir stocks. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you're freaked out, if you're dollar cost averaging down, or you had enough and you throw in the towel and you're selling Palantir. And I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.